Everyone, welcome back to another Taekook story. So let's start it. Thanks, POB. I woke up to a loud noise coming from downstairs. I slowly rubbed my eyes as I sat up in my bed and listened as the heavy footsteps made their way up to the stairs. I knew exactly who is coming up those stairs. My dad. I slowly made my way out of my bed and walked over to my dresser. As I pulled open a jeans drawer and my dad pushed my door open, I jumped when the door knob hit the wall behind the door. Good, you are up. Hurry the frick in. If you are late for school again, you are going to get it when you are getting home, my dad said. I nodded my head back to him. As I looked at him, my dad stormed away from my room so I could finish up getting ready. I quickly pulled up a pair of jeans and a random sweater I had found. I grabbed my backpack off the ground and quickly walked downstairs. I put a pair of shoes by the door before I left the house. I let out a sigh of relief as I walked down the road to the school. I enjoyed school because I don't have to be at home. Ever since my mom died 3 years ago, my father has been treating me differently. He started to get angrier and hurtful, verbally, mentally, and physically. After being hurtful for a few months, my dad started telling me to stop talking. If I spoke, he would hurt me until I couldn't walk anymore, so I stopped it. I haven't spoke a word in 2.5 years. Sometimes I forget that I even have my accent. I also hate school because I get bullied for being mute. At first, I would only speak to my friends, Jimin and Yongi, but after a while, I stopped talking completely. I managed to get small words out around Jimin and Yongi, but beside that, I couldn't speak when I got to school. I lowered my head as I walked onto the building. I slowly walked to my locker, not wanting to cause myself any attention from one of my bullies. When I got to my locker, I put my backpack and was about to grab my stuff, but I got shoved onto my locker. It's the milk freak, a small voice said. I looked behind and saw Hon standing there. I rolled my eyes as I tried to grab my textbook again. Is the freak too scared to stand up for himself? Another person, Jidori said. I think so, Bong said. I felt another shove against my back and I had two of my textbooks in my hands. Once I got shoved for the second time, my books fell to the bottom of my locker. I turned around and gave the group of three an angry, annoyed look. Oh, the freak is angry, Chidori said in a baby voice. Maybe he will say something to make us stop, Hun said, now laughing. Hey, leave him alone, someone said. When I looked down the hall, I saw Yongi and Jimin standing there. They both had an angry look on their faces, but Yongi was angrier. Yongi was always been the one who stood up for me more. He is more brave out of two of them. What did you say to me? Hun said. I said, leave him alone. Yongi said, why do you stand up for this freak? Does he even speak around you guys? Hun said, first off, he is my friend, so we will stand up for him anytime. Second, you don't need to know if he speak or not, Yongi said back to him. Hun rolled his eyes. Whatever, I'm not freaking my time on all these losers. Come on guys, Hun, Bong and Chidori all walk away from me. I turned around and quickly grabbed my stuff and needed out of my locker. By the time I was done getting my stuff, Yoongi and Jimin were standing at the locker with me. I still think we need to go to the principal about them and what they are doing, Yoongi said. We should, Jimin said. I slammed my locker shut to get them their attention. They both looked at me a little shocked from the me slamming my locker. I shook my head back to them and their faces changed to a concerned look. Taehyung, they could get suspended or explained for bullying, Jimin said. Can't, can't know, I said barely over a whisper. Who can't know? Yoongi asked me. I felt my heart drop as I realized that I had spoke. I quickly shook my head back to him, trying to make them realize that I didn't mean to say anything. Neither of them know about my dad being hurtful. They don't even know that he is the reason why I'm mute. They can't know all at all. They both dropped it, realizing that I don't want to talk about the who. We walk to our classes, Jimin making dumb jokes on we walk. When I got to my class, I waved at my friends before entering the class. I walked to my seat and in the back of the classroom and stayed at the desk as I waited for the teacher to come in. After a few minutes of sitting at my desk, a loud slam hits my desk and I jump. I look up and saw Hoon standing there with a blonde kid I have never seen before. Move, freak. Me and my new friends want to sit here, Hoon said. I let out a sigh as I grabbed all my stuff. I stood up and walked away from the desk. I moved to a desk at the front of the class and sat back down. I looked back at the desk and saw the blonde kid looking at me with a sorry look on his face. Who is that kid? He must be new because he doesn't see me as a freak. It wouldn't take long for him to see me as a freak with him hanging out with Hoon. Jungkook's POV. When I woke up, I heard talking across the hallway in my sister's room. I knew that one of our parents might be talking to her or they are talking to each other. My little sister Honey has a blood illness, anemia. Honey has a much more severe version of anemia. Her organs barely get any oxygen because of how little red blood cells she has. Honey has been put onto the bed rest and has had oxygen masks for the last year because of how bad her health has gotten. Her father got a job in Korea and had moved here. He said that he wanted to do this for the cheaper health care. In US, Hani's hospital bills are taking a lot of money and our parents don't have the money to pay for any more really expensive bills. Honey feels bad about forcing us to move all the way here, but she also understands why we had to. Today is my first day at my school. I'm really nervous to go to school because it is almost halfway through the school year and I have no idea what to expect from new school and I have no idea what the people are like. After spending a few minutes to wake up, I put up to go get dressed. I put on a pair of dark jeans and a white t-shirt and matched it with a pair of black tennis shoes. Once I was completely ready for school, I walked across the hallway to my sister's room. My sister is sitting on her bed, eating out of a bowl. I walked over the bed and sat down beside her. How are you feeling, baby? I asked her. Not that good, Oppa. To be honest, I feel really tired and cold, she said to me. Do you want Do you have socks on? I can go and get your socks. Do you want another blanket, honey? I asked her, now standing up. Can you get me fuzzy socks and another blanket, please, Opa? She asked me. I nodded my head back to her. I walked over where my sister kept her socks and grabbed her fuzzy socks. I opened a cabinet and is full of blanket for honey. I grabbed the decently thick one. I walked back over to honey and took the trays with her breakfast off to the bed so I could put the socks on her and the extra blanket. Once I made sure that she was warm enough, I put the tray back on her lap. How are you feeling, Opa? She asked me nervous. I sit back. That's normal for starting a new school. You will be okay. Just make sure you hang out with the right people, she said to me. Wow, I think I was the older sibling here. I sat back, laughing a little bit. When did you become so wise? I sit here all day reading or watching television. You learn some stuff when you read or watch a lot of high school dramas, she told me. I nodded my head back to her. I guess you would learn some stuff. Honey nodded her head back to me before she looked at her phone. You have to get downstairs if you want to get to school on time, she said to me as she showed me to the time. I quickly got up after looking at the time. Bye, honey, I love you. See you after school, I said as I ran out of her room. Once I got downstairs, I saw my dad standing by the door. He had a smile on his face as he slowly shook his head to me. I thought you would have better time management when we got here, he told me. I thought so too, I said to him as I grabbed my backpack. We headed outside to the car. My dad drove me to school. We sat in, mostly silent for most of the ride of school. When we did get to the school, I thanked my dad and for the ride and told him that I love him. Before I got out of the car, when I walked onto school, I headed to my office that was luckily right by the front entrance. When I walked in, a person behind a computer looked at me. What can I help you with, dear? The person asked me. I'm new here. I need my schedule and locker information, I told him. The person nodded his head back to me. Give me a few minutes to get the papers and call someone to show you around. I nodded my head back to the person as I waited for them to come back with my paper. When the person came back to the front desk, he handed me these piece of paper. He picked up the phone and called someone to show me around. Can you please send Hon down to the office? I needed him to show a new kid around, the person said. I sat down in one of the chairs in the office as I was waited for the Hon guy to come show me around. After a few minutes, a boy came into the office with an annoyed look on his face. He looked at me and let out a sigh before he started speaking. Are you the new kid I needed to show around? He asked me. I nodded my head back to him as I stood up from my spot. I held my paper out to Hon and he took them. After looking at the paper for the few seconds, he looked at me with a smile. We have the same schedule, so we can hang out if you want to, he said to me. I nodded my head back to him as I don't know anyone here. So I said, thinking how bad could be this friend be. Hon showed me to the locker and helped me with my backpack. Once I got into the locker, I grabbed everything I needed with me already before we reached to the our first class. When we got into the room, Hoon walked over to a table with two other boys at it. Jittery Bong, this is Jungkook. He is new here and he will be hanging out with us, Hoon said. The two said hello to me. I greeted them back. Hoon looked everywhere in the class. Almost all the seats are taken. Hoon looked towards the back of the class before he grabbed my arm. Come with me, he said, and with an evil look on his face, Hoon dragged me over to the furthest back table in the class and stopped in front of a table. Hoon hit his face down on the desk, causing the poor boy seated there to jump. Hoon basically forced the boy to move his seat just so he could sit there with me. The whole time I had a frown on my face. I feel bad for the boy even though I don't know about. Why did you force him? I asked Hoon. That was the freak of the school. Hoon said he never speaks to anyone and it's really weird. Has he ever spoke? I asked. He spoke a few years ago, but then he became a freaking mute. God knows why. No one likes him beside two the other weirdos, Hoon said. I nodded my head back to him and I looked away and frowned even more. The boy doesn't deserve to be treated this way. He is just because of who he is. I know that he can't treat him the same way Hoon treated him. Jungkook's POV at lunch. I sat with Hoon, Jittery and Bong. They were making fun of the boy from first period because he was sitting by himself. Currently, I had learned that his name is Taehyung and that his two friends are named by Yoongi and Jimin. It makes me really sad that the people I am hanging out with are bullying someone just because he doesn't speak. I wanted to go up to Taehyung and apologize for what happened in our first class, but every time I try to walk away from Hoon and his friends, they force me to stay with them. It's making me sad that I can't apologize to Taehyung. Wait guys, what this? Hoon said as he picked up a part of his sandwich and threw it at Yoongi as he walked to Taehyung. The whole table laughed while I sat there looking down at the table. I didn't like what they all did, but I know that it is best not to say anything as I am new here. Don't know if anyone will support me for standing up against to these guys, and what if they beat me up? What the heck is wrong with you? Yoongi asked angrily. Just go sit with the freak, Jiduri said. Stop calling Taehyung that. He isn't a freak, Yoongi said. He obviously is. He doesn't speak with. What is his problem, huh? He was alright few years ago, so what happened now? Only normal people speak, he doesn't, so he is a freak, Jitri said. So you guys saying deaf people are freaks? People with speech problem are freaks? Yoongi asked. No, we are not saying this. Why would we? It's normal for deaf and speech problem people to act like that, but your friend, he is a weirdo, Jitri said. Look, we are just saying that your friend is a freak. Normal people like all of us speak. We know he can speak but act like he is mute. You and other friends, you have also speak, so you should understand what we mean. Hoon said, I really hate you guys. Taehyung isn't a freak and you all are just pulling someone and being a freak yourself, Yoongi said. Hoon stood up with an angry look on his face. Just go sit down, you witch. I'm tired of hearing your voice. Youngie rolled his eyes at Hoon before he walked away from the table. Hoon sat down and mumbled about how mad he is about what just happened with Youngie. I kept looking towards the table Youngie, Jimin and Taehyung all are sitting at, and from each time I look over them, I felt bad for how Hoon was treating them. I don't like when people pick on others for something that they can't handle. That had happened to Hani when she went to school, and it made me hate people like her, old bullies, and the group that I am hanging out with the same. I'm going to the bathroom, I said as I slowly stood up. I walked out of the cafeteria and walked down the hallway. When I got to the bathroom, I let out a sigh as I looked at myself in the mirror. I rubbed my hands up and down my face and front as I thought about all Hoon, Jiduri and Bong have done to Taehyung today. Makes me really sad that I just stand there and watch them as they pick up on Taehyung. I pulled my phone out of my pocket and opened Instagram. I searched for Taehyung, his full name, Kim Taehyung, the full name I heard during roll call in few of our classes. I smiled slightly as one account popped up and the profile picture has a picture of Taehyung's face on it. I clicked on profile and smiled as I saw a few posts. I looked at them and smiled when I saw one with Taehyung, Youngie and Jimin all smiling at the camera, and caption reads, "Friends." It makes me happy to see it. This happy part of Taehyung. I looked at the comments and saw that there was only 2 comments, both being nice. A smile stayed on my face the whole time. I looked through the rest of the post. I only looked up when my phone went. I heard the bathroom door open and shut. I looked over at the door and saw Youngie standing there. He rolled his eyes at me as he walked towards the stall. "Wait," I said, stopping him. "What do you want?" he asked me. "Are you going to tell me that Taehyung is a freak too?" "No, I'm not like that," I told him as I shook my head. "My sister has an illness, so I would never find a mute person weird or a freak. So what do you want from me?" Youngie asked me. "I just want to apologize for Honey and others. You guys doesn't really deserve what you have been through, especially Taehyung. I have only known them for a day and I don't agree with what they do." I told him, "I'm happy to hear that, but I'm not the one who you need to tell that to. That stop all doing this. And Taehyung is the one who needs to hear all this," he said. "He is the one who has been bullied by the guys you hang out for 3 years. With 3 years, Youngie told me. I will tell him, and same thing once I get a chance to be alone with him. I'll try to stop them. I promise," I said him. Youngie smiled at me slightly. It was nice to see him smile instead of giving Han and his group an angry look. He's always alone at the end of the day. Me and Jimin had scorer practice. Youngie said. I nodded my head back at him. "Thank you." "You're welcome," he said back to me. "Now can I go to do my work? What I'm here for, please?" I laughed as I nodded my head back to him. I said goodbye to Youngie before he went onto his stall and I walked out of the bathroom. I walked back to the cafeteria and sat down with Hon and group. At the end of the day, I walked outside of the school and saw Taehyung standing on the sidewalk, just watching people walk by. I walked over to him and gently tapped his shoulder to get his attention. Taehyung looked back at me with a confused face, but it changed when he realized who was behind him. Hi, I said, really nervous. Taehyung walked back to me, a small smile coming onto his face. I just want to say that I'm sorry about Hoon and his friends. I might hang out with them, but I'm not like them. I would. Taehyung smiled at me before nodding his head back to me. I was hoping that meant that he understood and doesn't hate me for Hyun and his friends' actions. Well, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll have to go home for my little sister. I said to Taehyung bye. Before I started walking away from Taehyung, he waved at me. As I got onto the bus, I couldn't help but smile as I thought about Taehyung's smile. He has most beautiful, adorable, cute, boxy smile. It can't be right weird to like someone's smile, right? Thanks, POV. When I got home after school, I quickly headed up to my room. Even though my dad isn't home yet, I still panicked to be at my home and went in my room straight away from school. It became a habit from me when my dad wasn't working at all. And when I came home from school, I get a beating. I sat down on my bed and took my school stuff out. It didn't have that much work out, but I still wanted to get it done first so I could get my chores done before my dad got home. After working for almost on 55 minutes, I finished my homework. My dad wasn't going to home for another 4 and 10 minutes, so I had enough time to do all my chores. I started with cleaning the kitchen and living room of all the empty alcohol bottles. I threw all of them into a garbage bag before taking the bags out of a side trash can. Once I got back inside, I swept the floor, washed the dishes, and put away the dishes. I tidied up the living room a little bit and then went back up to my room. I sat down on my bed and pulled my computer onto bed. I opened YouTube and turned on a random Minecraft video. I still like to watch gaming video like Minecraft, and I still like to play video game like Minecraft. Sometimes it make me feel childish, but at the same time those videos bring me some comfort with my sick home and school life. While I was watching a second YouTube video, I heard the door slam downstairs. I could already tell from just how the door got shut that my dad is angry right now from work. I thought about going over to my door and lock it, but it was for me. I sat quietly on my bed and I listened to footsteps come up the stairs. I held my breath as the footsteps got louder and heavier. I watched as my bedroom door slammed open and my angry father walked onto the room. He walked over me. Come here, you piece of shit. He grabbed my arm, forcing me onto the floor. Appa, I said in my mind. I looked up at my dad with a scared look, knowing what he is about to happen to me. My dad put his foot on my stomach. Oh, a faint, afraid a bit bite my cry as I slowly started to add more pressure onto his foot. I grabbed his ankle and tried to push it off of me, but I wasn't strong enough. After a few minutes of trying to get his foot off of me, he finally lifted his foot off of me. I felt relieved that his foot was finally off of me, but that was quickly ruined when my father dropped his foot back onto my stomach. I cried in my mind and coughed heavily from the pain and felt tears fill my eyes. My dad kept dropping his foot onto my stomach and added a kick to the side every now and again. At some point, I crawled myself into a ball as my dad continued to kick me. I kept. Once he got tired, he just kicked me. My dad got down to ground and started to punch in my ribs. No, Mom. I cried silently. Tears fell from my eyes from the amount of pain that came over my body. I miss my mom. This has been the worst beating I have gotten a while, and I could easily tell that it will be pain tomorrow. After 20 more minutes, my dad finally stopped hurting me. I felt a lot of pain all over my body and couldn't help but cry from what I felt. I laid on my floor in a ball as I cried. It makes me sad that it doesn't make me sad knowing that this is what I have to go through just because of my mom dying. I don't know why my dad blamed me for my mother's cancer, but he does. After a while of lying on my floor, I slowly stood up. I walked over my dresser and grabbed a pair of sweatpants to change onto. I left my hoodie on, not feeling like seeing all the bruises on my arm. I lied down on bed. After I was changed. I grabbed my phone out of my backpack and saw that I had an Instagram notification. I was slightly confused when I saw the notification, but I smiled after I read Jungkook liked a post. I opened the app and saw that the profile picture was a picture of Jungkook. I opened the profile and saw that there was a lot of nature images. There was a few posts of a girl, and one of posts made me smile. You are one of the strongest people I know. You have fought against this disease for a few months now, and even though you have gotten weaker, you didn't stop fighting. I'm really lucky to say that from your elder brother. Happy birthday, honey. I love you. I looked at the image again and saw a younger looking girl with a breathing mask in her nose. I could also see IV in the girl's arm. I saw that the liquid going in her arms are slightly red, must be blood. What it is, could Jungkook's younger sister have? Is her life at risk? How long has she been struggling from this disease? Even though I have a lot of questions, I know that I just can't ask Jungkook them. We aren't friends, so I don't have the right to know stuff about his family, especially his little sister's disease. I would like to know more about Jungkook and his family, but I know that there is very low chances of us ever being friends unless he stop being friends with Hoon, Jidori and Bong. We have no chance of being friends. Jungkook's POV. When I got home from school, I went to Hani's room. First, I walked onto her room and saw that she is reading a book. I sat down beside her and slowly read the page she was on until she flipped the page to the next one. I have no idea what is she reading, but from what I just read, it seems somewhat interesting. After a few minutes of funny reading, she folded the corner of her book before looking at me. How was your school, Upa? She asked me. It was good, I replied. What are you reading? Dry, Divergent. She told me what it is about. I asked her. Honey went on explaining all she knows about the book. So far, I have found it interesting as she told me about the different fractions and told me about the Danton's fraction. She also explained the main character. That sounds very interesting, I told her. Is it? I really enjoyed it so far, and it's a series. I'm going to ask mom to next time she goes to the library. Honey told me enough about my day. How was your day? It was good. I made some so-called friends. I told her, what do you mean by so-called friends? She asked me. I got forced to be friends with them as I didn't know about anyone, and one of them showed me around the school and they keep pulling on a kid that is mute. Told her that isn't good. She said, why don't you tell them that you don't want to be friends with them? I don't know, I'm not sure. What will they do? I said back to her, I don't think you should be friends with them if they are bullying someone. You aren't bullying the kid, are you, Opa? She asked me. I shook my head. God, no, I could never bully him, honey. What is his name? My sister asked me, a small smile coming onto her face. Taehyung, I said. I reached onto my pocket to grab my phone. I turned my phone on and opened Instagram. I went to Taehyung's account and saw Honey, a random picture of Taehyung. She smiled at my phone. He seems like a really nice person. I nodded my head back to her. As I put my phone back onto my pocket from the short conversation I had with him, I really wanted to friends with him, but I'm scared that his friends will stop from that happening. I don't know. Just try to talk all of them, make them realize that you aren't like your so-called friends, she said, putting extra weight on so-called friends like I did. I nodded my head back to her. I know that she is right. The best thing to do is talk to all of them about me wanting to be friends with Taehyung and his friends. I needed them to know that I'm nothing like Hon, Jiduri and Bong. I stayed in Hani's room with her. After a while, before I got kicked out of room, I went to my room and sat down at my desk. I powered on my computer, logged onto my Minecraft account. I played a few games of Bed Wars and random people. Before I got off the game, I went onto YouTube and turn on random videos so I could have some background noise while I work on my homework. I started with math homework because it is worst subject. I have never been good with math. It has always been my worst subject. I really enjoy science and my technology classes. Everything else isn't my favorite or best. During the summer, my parents allowed me to take a class for advanced tech and coding. I was very happy to be able to learn more about my favorite thing. I had also figured out that I like boys from that trip. I had been in the same room as a boy that was a year older than me. I was very confused why I felt the way I did for the boy because the feeling was the same as my feeling for girls. I still don't want know what my real identity is, but I don't want to know what am I. All I know is that I am just attracted to women, but no one knows that I am also attracted to men. I think Honey has an idea that I am, but she hasn't asked anything about it that much. I do plan on telling my parents that I am attracted to men soon, but I don't want to tell them just yet. I feel like I will most likely came out of Honey before I came out of my parents. I feel like I can tell Honey something like that first and see how she reacts before telling my parents and seeing their reaction. I don't plan on ever telling my so-called friends just from how they treat Taehyung for being mute. It makes me scared to see how they would treat someone who is a part of LGBTQ community. They also didn't need to know that I like men. It doesn't change me as a person for liking men. Once I finished on my homework, it was time for dinner. I headed downstairs and smiled when I saw Honey sitting at table with her parents already. Honey doesn't eat with us most nights because of how tired she gets from all illness. I ate up in her room with her most nights. Will, we will watch movie or she will talk about a book she has been reading, or I will talk to her about my day. It makes me happy to sit with Honey in her room as we eat dinner. It makes me feel like things hasn't changed much, even though things have changed a lot. Once we all were done with our food, I helped Honey get back upstairs to her room. I laid her down and covered up with a fur blanket on her bed. I love you, Honey. I told her. I love you too, Opa. She said back to me. I walked over to the door and turned the light off. I shut the door behind me and walked over to my room. I changed my clothes, comfortable clothes, before get to bed. I pulled my cover to me and slowly started to drift off. Everyone, how's the story so far? Don't forget to tell me in the comment section. It is not gonna take too long because it is one of short stories, so maybe 3 more episodes, 2 or 3, and it will be end. I hope you will love it. Okay, so be happy and healthy. Bye bye.